Hi everybody, it is time for chapter 10 of The Face on the Milk Carton. Chapter 9 was pretty long, and through chapter 9, just as a refresher, Janny confronted her parents about why she doesn't have baby pictures and all that, and they told her, they said that our daughter, had you, and then she was in the cult, and then she left, and we didn't tell her where we were going, so you're our granddaughter. And that's where we are. And Janny said, they are my mom and dad. They're all I have. They're all I want. Even though now she knows they're her grandparents. Do you think that, though? I don't really know. I don't feel like the book would take us that far if they're just her grandparents. And why she's still on the milk carton. Think about that. All right, here we go. Chapter 10. She woke up as if attacked, ripped out of sleep. Her body was drenched in sweat, and her thin nightgown clung damply to her skin. Monsters and hideous evil sucking things scattered in her brain. She lay in the dark, clinging to the satin hem at the top of her blanket. Just a dream, just a dream. She wanted to get up and get a glass of water, find another blanket, turn on some lights, but she was caught in an old childhood fear of things under the bed. Sometimes I pick my feet up real quick, too. The silly fear that kept her, even now at nearly 16, from sleeping with her toes hanging off the edge. Anyone else like that? Something might nibble them, drag her down. Slowly, she crawled tighter and tighter under the covers, bracketing her spine with her pillow, protecting her heart and soul with tucked-in knees. It was a nice story they had told last night, but what about the springs? What about the milk carton? Hannah was real. The trunk in the attic full of geography papers proved it, but the milk carton was real too. Jenny Spring was real, and so was that 800 number. New Jersey was real, and that shopping center. I remember a friendly kitchen with lots of kids. I remember shoe shopping. I remember. Memories swirled dimly. She held herself still, trying to pull them in like a fisherman with a reel. The cult did not sound like people who took their nursery school class shopping in malls for shiny white shoes. The white apron, was it Hannah's? Why did she remember a white apron and not yellow robes? California and cult should make a deeper imprint on a child's memory than a sundae and a swiveling stool. Janny's made-up version slipped and slid like cars on ice. They crashed into what few dim memories she had or had created. But one thing was true and certain. The dress in the attic matched the dress on the carton. In the dark of her bedroom, an idea misted in her brain like fog, dank and sour and thick. Had Miranda and Frank Javinson, their minds warped from losing Hannah, decide to replace her with a new little daughter? Had they gone for a drive in the heat of the sun and the dusty wind? Had they landed in a shopping center in New Jersey? Had her mother, a different, younger mother, twirled on a stool beside the little girl named Jenny Spring, bought her with nothing more than an ice cream, taken her home forever? A real kidnapping. Her dear, sane, good parents. Janny's notebook faded in and out of her brain like the shadow of a migrating bird with the flattened milk carton clipped to the cover. She could show them the milk carton. She could say, I know the truth. But then what? She didn't want the truth to be true any more than they did. She wanted to be their daughter too. Janny lay awake the rest of the night, sifting her brain and finding nothing certain. In the morning, they had breakfast together. That was unusual. Her father normally left for work before Janny got up. Her mother liked to be solitary in the morning and sipped coffee alone in her bedroom, reading the morning paper, while Janny had a glass of orange juice and a croissant. They were as nervous as strangers waiting to have their teeth drilled. They drank orange juice as if it were spiked with cyanide, and they buttered toast and abandoned it. How had her parents slept, Janny wondered. Were their hearts on Hannah this morning? And my heart, thought Janny. Where's my heart? Janny was too exhausted for speech, and in her head the Damers clamored for attention. Toddlers in high chairs pounding spoons on the tray, laughter ricocheting off the kitchen walls, car doors slamming. The faces of her mother and father at the breakfast table seemed to crawl over and through the daymares. That's Lair. Her father set his untasted coffee next to his untouched toast. Janny, honey, are you all right? Sure, Dad. Her father's smile was pasty and peculiar. You don't look as if you slept. No, there was a lot to think about. Do you have any questions? Her father said nervously. She had a million questions, but they would answer in lies, and she could not bear it. Her father, whom tax clients and soccer teams adored and respected. Her mother, who cared so passionately about the hospitals and the illiterate and the schools, telling lie after lie after lie because, in fact, they were criminals. Perhaps they don't even know anymore, she thought. Perhaps for them, too, the daymare has blended with the daydream, and the truth is lost. You and I should spend the day together, said her mother. I'll phone the school. I'll cancel my meeting in Hartford. No, I have an important test. Anyway, I want to talk to Sarah Charlotte. She would never tell Sarah Charlotte. She would never tell anybody. What words were there? My parents are insane. They lost a daughter and kidnapped another, except they probably didn't. I'm probably their granddaughter with a demon inside. Go to your meeting. I'll see you at supper. Her father said, maybe it's best to try to keep things normal, regular schedules, that sort of thing. Normal, thought Janny, choking back hysteria. Her mother turned into a whirlwind, gathering papers while she snatched up clean stockings from the drying rack, telephoning another board member while she wriggled into her crimson suit. She always looked so authoritative in that suit. Her father wanted to kiss her goodbye. His arms seemed to hang inside his jacket as if they had been stapled together. He had a hard time lifting them toward Janny, her father, whose perfect coordination came from years and years of sports. This morning, his silvery hair hung over his forehead like a grandfather's, not a father's. He's afraid I won't love him as much, thought Janny, but I do. I don't care what they did. I love them just as much. How can that be? Love you, honey, said her father desperately. I'm sorry about all of it, but I love you too. Janny tacked on her brightest smile. Allowing him to leave, he hugged her, but she did not hug back, and he knew it and was afraid. Janny, he said, we did the best we could, with you and with Hannah. I don't care about Hannah, said Janny, which was certainly true. Her mother came rushing back. You think the pins look good? Said her mother anxiously, touching the silver brooch she had fastened to her scarf. Her mother didn't feel comfortable with pins. She was always sure that they drooped or turned themselves backwards. It looks fine, said Janny. She looked out the window. It's pouring again. What was with all this rain? At least she could ride with Reeve this morning instead of waiting for the bus. Goodbye, Daddy, she said, forcing herself to hug him. I hope your meeting's good, Mom. Her father said, you'll telephone me at the office if you're upset or anything, won't you? Outside in the rain, Reeve honked his horn. Have a good day at school, sweetheart, said her mother. Maybe I should stay by the phone in case you want to call. Or I can call you from Hartford. Mom, said Janny, everything's fine. Don't worry. I'll see you later. She grabbed her coat, her books, her bag lunch with its non-milk drink, and flew out the door. Reeve had given up on her and reached the end of his driveway. Screaming, she ran after him. Reeve, here I am. He saw her, grinned, reversed, and waited for her. Thought you took the bus after all, he said. Did you sleep late? You look frantic. She laughed hysterically. That's just how I feel, he agreed. Here, I make a hit by getting on a roll, and the very next day I don't finish my homework and I have to go to make ASS of myself with an oral presentation in English. I don't know who's listening. I can't curse. I wish we could cut school, Janny said. All right, let's, said Reeve. There's nothing to want in that building. They were heading into town. They were on the overpass of the interstate, and Janny said, get on the highway and then head south. Where do you think she's going? I know. Reeve's jaw dropped. Are you serious? Janny of the sweet, obedient personality wants to cut class? Yes, turn. Hurry up. You'll miss the entrance. Reeve got on the highway and turned south. The windshield wipers clicked rhythmically. The rain thudded metallically on the roof. Loud. Reeve turned the radio up louder, and they were listening to KC 101 Rock. Janny had never heard KC 101 at this hour. She was always in school. The miles went by. They passed a turnpike rest stop and gas station. Their speed dropped. They were in rush hour traffic. 1,000 cars throbbed around them. We can't turn back now, said Reeve, waving his watch. His grin tested her to see if she was serious. Buddy, thought Janny, you don't know how serious I am. We're officially late, said Reeve. If we go to school now, we have to get late passes from the vice principal, and they telephone our parents. Doesn't matter, said Janny. We're going to New Jersey. Ooh, what do you think she's going to do? Think about it. See you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.